NatAccess in India is relatively a new entity. We have just started our operations last year, and one of the biggest focus for us would be the innovation mandate that we have onboarded as a part of our India journey. So we would be looking at partners in the ecosystem to enable us in this journey. We are very focused on technology. We are very focused on making sure that we use technology as a forefront in our client interactions, in our business interactions, in trying to reduce our bottom line, etc. This is going to be a key way of working for us, or the new way of working for us. We are headquartered in Paris, but we have a pretty good, overview of the market in APAC as well. So in Singapore, we are 40 years old. We are predominantly an investment banking and an asset management organization. Our parent company goes by the name Group A BPCE, which is more of a cooperative bank in France, and we are more of an international organization. So we want to definitely leverage, like I said, technology to the maximum, just so that we have the client experience at the heart of everything that we do. Like I said, we are still a new entity in India. And since technology is going to be a forefront for us, we are hiring a lot of technologists, if I could say so. I'm not specifically saying developers or business analysts or traditional IT managers, because most of the technologists that we hire will probably be looking at disrupting a process, disrupting the way we work end to end. So they are more of entrepreneurs in our organization. So when we look at such candidates, it's very difficult to sort of scout in a traditional market where you go through the interview process, you have a JD, and you have the usual way of hiring, right? And at the end of the day, we wouldn't even know if they are somebody who would probably take an initiative. So a process like a hackathon will enable us to sort of see if these candidates come with that entrepreneurial spirit. Are they able to sort of think of a vision, uh, code the solution themselves, and envision what it could look like, right? So this is the kind of skill which is quite niche, and it's very difficult to sort of analyze this in an interview process, which is why we wanted to connect to potential candidates through the hackathon. And also it's a branding exercise for us because we are relatively a new company in the market. um, so it's and this concept of hiring through hack to hire is not new. This is something that organizations have been doing this for the last couple of years. Now that we are starting the journey, we just didn't want to follow the traditional route and then figure out that okay, let's do this hackathon and see what else we could do. Since we have this ability of using the resources in the market, we decided to go ahead with hack to hire. So there is a lot of difference between walking the talk, right? Because you could put up a lot of skills on your CV, but when it actually comes to incorporating some of this coding skills, in reality there is a huge gap. um, and however technical analysis goes well in an interview round, we still see that this gap persists. The only way that we have seen that this could not exist is to have a good coding challenge in place, which will help us in leveraging the analytical ability of a candidate, his judgmental ability, his analytical ability, his coding ability. These things, it's a little more difficult to sort of judge during an interview process. And even if you have certain aptitude tests, it's in piecemeal, and you have to spend a lot more time in sort of analyzing each candidate. Here I think there was a good mechanism through which we were able to filter out on based on aptitude tests, based on their coding abilities, and then their overall pitch. So you will be able to I think reach out to the perfect fit, fitment of the candidates much faster, which is why we chose this route. I used to be working with Society Generale before. So we had used Mercer Metal in many of our campus outreach programs. We had even launched a young graduate program where interns were hired, and they would work on creating an internal startup product. So this would be an in-house product, but we would completely skip the life cycle of typical software engineering, and they would just be given a mandate, and they would be given a problem statement where certain a set of interns were onboarded, and they would work like entrepreneurs again. So the outreach was excellent, and the fact that we could do this all in a virtual mode was great. It helped us a lot during the COVID times. So geographically, we were not constrained in reaching out to some of the students. So there was a good experience before. So when we were looking at a potential partner in this hackathon as well, one of the companies which came to our mind was Mercer Metal. It definitely did. Again, we had a time constraint. We were really ambitious with our timelines of running this hackathon. So we wanted to go in a completely virtual mode, and we wanted a partner who had some connect with the universities. Metal is quite actively used by campuses and by other companies when they run their hackathon. That means you have your own steady base of students who are looking at this platform for life challenges, right? So we don't have to come up with an communication outreach plan which will take us couple of months to weeks in the outreach. So for me it was the ability to run this program completely virtually, the ability to have this outreach through Mercer Metal. When we ran this challenge, it was across three different geographies, actually four. We had also exposed this to some of our interns in Paris. So it had to be a virtual platform which could be accessed by multiple locations. So I think in a way Mercer Metal is global in nature, because I think you now have a good foundation, at least in the APAC region, and US as well, I presume. So it helped us in finalizing Mercer Metal as a partner of choice based on these parameters. Yeah. The good part is it was very agile, right? Because even though I have seen now Mercer Metal is not a small company anymore, but the agility part still remains, pretty flexible for us. And especially with such mandates, you could, and this was one of the first programs that we were running. So it's not like we came with a proper ask to Mercer Metal. We were also counting on Mercer Metal to give us a bit of advice when it comes to what works, what wouldn't work, what should be the structure of the program, because you guys do this day in and day out. So that bit of expertise helped us as well, because this was a program that we were trying to figure it out for the first time. So from an experience perspective, it was really great to have this touch point, and the fact that it would get done, and we didn't have to repeat ourselves or go back a couple of times. And even though there were multiple requests on the same thing, it was accommodated very well. So I'm usually indebted for the team which worked on this hackathon for us. So in terms of geography, we were targeting India, Singapore, Hong Kong, and some of our existing interns in Paris. At the end of the hackathon session, I think within a span of 3 weeks, we had 1,500 signups. This is an hackathon that we intend to run a year on year, and the scale in which we'll operate also is going to likely increase. And the fact that we are now predominantly active in the Singapore arena, and Mercer, again, your parent company, is also located out of Singapore, makes it far more easier for us to engage with Mercer Metal on innovation related activities.